Okay, so saying that over again, this is Sue Kaler at the Massachusetts Library System, and I'm hoping that you can all see my screen. If you have any technical difficulties as we go along, please put a message in chat and we'll see if we can help you out. We are recording the presentation and we'll share it out to those of you who have signed up afterwards, and we'll also send you the slides. We have a LibGuide that will cover a lot of what I'm going to go through today at the Massachusetts Library System's website, and you can send questions to me or to Chai-Chen Chen, who is also on our webinar here. So this is a pilot project to expand delivery between Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and it's a project of the Massachusetts Library System together with the Rhode Island Office of Library and Information Services, provided by Optima, who is the delivery courier for both entities. So I'm Sue Kaler, I'm at the Mass Library System, and joining me is Chai-Chen Chen from the OLIS. Chai-Chen, you want to say hello?
Hi, this is Chai-Chen Chen from OLIS, Resource Sharing Coordinator. Welcome.
All right, thank you. So I know that a lot of people who are on the webinar today have been involved in the project from the beginning, and then we also have some new participants who are starting on October the 1st. So I'm going to go through the whole project explaining what we have in mind, why we've done it, how we've done it, how you can take advantage of it as an OCLC ILL participant in borrowing and lending, the statistics that we hope to get from you, and a variety of different things. If you have questions as I go along, please feel free to put them in chat, and I'll try to answer as I go, or send me or Chai-Chen a message afterwards. So this is a joint project between the MLS and OLIS. We started on April 1st, 2016, and we're planning to run the pilot through December 31st, 2016. Frankly, if it continues to go well, I don't see why we would stop it at the end of the pilot. It might be one of those kinds of pilots that just keeps going, but we'll see. Officially, the pilot runs through December 31st. For a long time, we'd been thinking that it would be very tempting and a useful idea to hook up the delivery system that our state runs with other states. And we just had an opportunity to hook up with Rhode Island, partly because both systems use Optima Worldwide Shipping as their delivery vendor, so it was easy to work things out between the two of us. And we particularly owe our thanks to the Norton Public Library and to the Helen Consortium. Initially, when we started out with this pilot project on April the 1st, it was a pilot to connect Massachusetts participants in the southeast part of our state on the S delivery route with participants in Rhode Island. Now we're adding approximately 20 additional participants from all the way throughout our state, starting on October the 1st. There's a variety of different routes in Massachusetts, B for Boston, C for Central, M for Metro West, N for Northeast, and W for Western, in addition to the S for Southeastern. But if you're from Rhode Island and thinking, how will I ever figure this out? Don't worry, it's going to become clear shortly. Right now, we're still only doing expanded delivery between Rhode Island libraries and the S route libraries. But starting October 1st, which somebody pointed out to me is a Saturday, so actually starting the week after that, we will expand the pilot to the other parts of Massachusetts. So if you're thinking that you'll be able to do delivery to someplace on the other side of the state and you're one of the new people, please wait until after October 1st. The reason we wanted to do this expanded delivery pilot in the first place was to save money for member libraries in both states. Postage costs continue to go up, And there was initially, well, for a long time, there had been a very deep discount to send light items first-class mail. It was actually cheaper than library rate, but that has gone away except for something that's as light as 3 ounces, and frankly, nothing is as light as 3 ounces. So really, postage has gone up. We also wanted to expand access. Here at the MLS, we borrow for about 500 different libraries in Massachusetts that don't have OCLC interlibrary loan access, and they tell us what they want us to do in terms of incurring costs for them. They have to pay return postage if we've borrowed something from someone where they have to mail it back, and about 15% of our Massachusetts libraries don't even have the funds to pay for that return postage. They limit us to delivery only. So by expanding the delivery options to them, we hope that we're expanding access to them. So why are we thinking of expanding now? Why are we going to expand now? Basically, it doesn't cost us any more to do the delivery, the pilot project, to other parts of the state of Massachusetts beyond the S region. We are paying Optima, the MLS is paying Optima for running this special project, but what they're charging us is going to stay the same whether we do it just for the S or for the whole parts of the state. So why not expand out? Basically, as far as we can tell, there have been no particular problems. Nobody has complained. So why not extend the benefit to other members of our state? And we have devious little plans. We'd like to consider expanding this to other states, so we want to make sure to prove that this can really work. So here is a list of the Massachusetts participants, and some of them are the originals, like Bridgewater State and Bristol Community College, Cape Cod Community College, because they are on the S route. And some of them are the new ones. Amherst College is new, Andover Newton Theological, Babson, Bentley, and so on. There are now, I think, about 36 Massachusetts participants, and I'm just running through 3 screens worth of these places. So it's a broad variety of people, from as far west as Western New England University and as far east as Cape Cod Community College, some up in the north, Salem State University, and some down in the southeast. So basically places all around the Commonwealth. By no means everyone. It's about 36 places that are on delivery that are part of this pilot project. I think there's about 100 others that could have been, but chose not to for reasons of their own. Perhaps they had too much going on and just didn't want to have one new thing happening at this point in their life. But I'm hoping that we'll prove to them that this works and it's not that hard to do, and we'll have more people join at some other time in the future. So here's your list of the 36 or so Massachusetts participants. The symbol MLN is a little complicated. This is the Minuteman Library Network symbol, and at my office here at the MLS, we use this symbol to loan from Minuteman Library Network. And if you're a Rhode Island library and you borrow from us under Minuteman, you would actually see our return delivery slip in that item. We're good about putting those in. And you'll notice that you actually return them to MLS Marlborough on the C route, the central route. We loan from Minuteman, but we ask you to return them to us here at this office. Then, to add to the complications, we borrow for about 150 different locations using that symbol, and up until this point, we've only asked Rhode Island lenders to lend back via the expanded delivery if the library for whom we're borrowing under MLN is in the S route. But now we're expanding, so we would be borrowing under the MLN symbol for libraries in the M, N, or B routes. and you'll see that in our borrowing notes. And under OCD, which is the one we use for Old Colony Library Network, we lend under that symbol. You return to us, and we borrow for about 300 different locations in the S, C, or W routes. So a little confusing, I must admit, but if you're in University of Rhode Island, Salve Regina, someplace like that, you would get a request from us under either the OCD or the MLN symbol. The ship to would be the individual library, and in the borrowing notes it will say something like Attleboro, Massachusetts delivery S route, Pittsfield, Massachusetts delivery W route. So it should be fairly clear where to send things and which ones you can send via delivery. I guess the other thing I'd say is if you're confused, shoot us an email. Okay, so here are the Rhode Island participants. It's a shorter list, but it's practically everybody in Rhode Island, so it's a less confusing list to some extent. Brown University is not participating, but just about everybody else is. Then, just like us, the OLIS office uses one symbol to borrow from many libraries in Rhode Island. And Chai-Chen, do I have this correct? Under the RDS symbol on OCLC, a Massachusetts library might see that you're borrowing for Kingston, Providence.
Yeah, I believe our staff have been putting that information on the borrowing note.
Just like we did, exactly.
Yeah.
It makes it easier in Rhode Island in that there's just one route. So you don't have to figure out which route are you talking about. It's a small state, one route. You just have to look and see which library is it, and then I'll explain about the delivery slips in a few minutes. All right, so the way this actually happens is Optima has a sort site in Plymouth that handles the S route, and it has a slot for items going to Rhode Island. So when anything comes from anywhere in Massachusetts that's going to a library in Rhode Island, it gets to the Plymouth sort site either directly because they're an S library or via the cross state if they're a library in one of the other areas. And it gets put into a bin for outgoing Rhode Island items. Those bins are dropped off at the Norton Public Library, and we really owe a big thanks to Lee from the Norton Public Library for being willing to do this. Then there's a truck that comes up from Rhode Island, and it's going to Wheaton College because Wheaton happens to be part of the Helen Consortium, which is a Rhode Island consortium of academic libraries. That truck makes a slight detour of about a quarter of a mile to the Norton Public Library and picks up the items that are going down to Rhode Island and drops off items that are going to Massachusetts libraries from Rhode Island libraries. So Norton Public Library is the pivot point for this operation. This special detour stop to Norton Public Library happens 3 days a week. I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I wouldn't swear to that right now today, but I'm pretty sure that's what we set up. And the items will go to the opposite sort site. So if there are items coming to Rhode Island, they would go to Providence and be sorted out as usual. If they're going the other way, they go to Plymouth and then either get sorted out to a destination in the S area or go on the cross state to go to a destination outside of that area. How confusing is that? It's really not too bad. It's just delivery as per usual with a pivot point in Norton to get it into the opposite state's delivery system. I thought it might make it clearer if I showed you a map here. So I don't know if you can you see my mouse waving around if I do this?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, good. All right. So this is the clams, sales, and Old Colony area, and this is the S region, southeast. Then up here, this area here that covers MVLC and Noble is the N area. This Minuteman area is the Metro West area. This area in here is Boston. It's the B area. And then there's CW Mars that goes all the way from the edge of Minuteman out to the New York border. And half of it is C, Central, and half of it is W, Western. And here are the Optima sort sites. So here's the Plymouth site, and it handles the S route, so basically this territory here. Here's the Wilmington sort site, which handles the Northeast, the Boston, the Metro West area, so this area here. And then here's the Oxford sort site, which handles the C and W. So if I back up a little bit, let's see. When I showed you the Massachusetts participants, you see, for example, here's Simmons College, and I gave you their OCLC symbol, and I said that they are on the B route because they're in Boston. And here's Western New England University, they're on the W route. Here's Worcester Polytechnic Institute, they're in the C route. So this Massachusetts route is important. That gets it to the right part of Optima, and then they will get it to the right individual institution. All right, let's catch back up to where I was here. So it's crucial when you're sending something to Massachusetts that you have a delivery slip headed with the right route designation, B, C, M, N, S, or W. And then the slips also then have the town or college on the institution line. For example, if you're sending something to Bridgewater State University, you would use an S slip for Southeast, and you'd write Bridgewater State University rather than Clement C. Maxwell Library or some code. So here's an example of some Massachusetts delivery slips. They just happen to be the S ones, and this one is filled out for Bridgewater State. So on the town institution line, you put either the town name or the name of the university or college, and that gets it to the right place. The Rhode Island slips have a special Rhode Island designation up on the top that we've designed, and then Rhode Island uses a 3-letter code for each participant rather than an institution name. The delivery code is usually not the OCLC code in most cases. For example, Bryant University is BRY for their delivery code, but their OCLC symbol is BRB. So you need to pay attention to the delivery code. And let's go back up to the Rhode Island list of participants, and you can see here's Bryant University, their OCLC symbol, but their delivery symbol, which isn't the same. Community College of Rhode Island has the luxury of having the same symbol, but most of them are different, so you have to pay attention to the delivery symbol and put that on a Rhode Island slip if you're a Massachusetts library trying to send something to a Rhode Island participant in this cross-state delivery. I think the one and only problem that I'm aware that happened in the beginning of the delivery is that someone from Rhode Island tried to send something to Stonehill College and put STO instead of Stonehill. I can see the logic, but no, that's not the way it works. So here are some sample Rhode Island delivery slips. They're, as I say, they're kind of special. They say Rhode Island up at the top, and then they have a box, and in that box you put the Rhode Island code for delivery so that it can get to the right place. So if you're an OCLC ILL operation, you probably want to try to take advantage of this new expanded delivery by tweaking your custom holdings paths. You want to create a custom holdings group of libraries in the opposite state to where you are that are now suddenly delivery libraries to you that weren't delivery libraries to start with. or maybe several groups, because some of these places might lend you books via delivery and some might lend audios or visuals via delivery. You can check in the OCLC policies directory to see whether or not they would be likely to lend something other than books, or you can use Sue's AV lenders list in Cheryl, which happens to be me, Sue. It's a list that I've maintained for years of places that I know about that lend AV. If you find that there are places that you know about that I don't know about, I would love to add them, so feel free to let me know. To make a custom holdings group, you go to the service configuration module, and you can get there from this URL that I've put in, worldcat.org/config, and then you need to know your authorization and password to log in. Or you can get there directly from the Interlibrary Loan home screen when you're logged into WorldShare ILL. Once you get to the service config, you click on WorldShare ILL, click on Custom Holdings Groups, click on Create a New Custom Holdings Group, and add in the desired symbols. So for example, if you were Bentley and you wanted to add the fact that you could now borrow on delivery from Salve Regina and Johnson & Wales, you would maybe make yourself a group called Rhode Island Delivery and add in those symbols perhaps, so that you could favor them if you wanted to save yourself some postage. So once you've created the new group, you save it with a name that makes sense to you. And then you need to actually put it into a path. So you stay in Service Config, but you click on Custom Holdings Paths and select the appropriate path and drag your new group into the proper place. So you want to put it maybe after the delivery folks in your own state, but before the places that you would have to mail back to. And then save your changes and they'll activate at your next login. If anybody wants a hand doing this, I'd be glad to talk you through it. I bet that quite a few of you use Iliad, and you can actually do a lot of this service config work within Iliad if you want to. Tressa Santillo, who works here at the Mass Library System, was a Power Iliad user in her last job, and she's offered to help people if they have any trouble tweaking their custom holdings paths and groups from within Iliad. She's Tressa at masslibsystem.org. Okay, so once you've borrowed something from a delivery participant on the opposite state, hopefully they have put a return address slip already properly filled out for them in the item. But if not, there's a list of who's involved and what slips to use on our LibGuide. And we've divided it up for Rhode Island libraries needing a Massachusetts slip or Massachusetts libraries needing a Rhode Island slip. Let's see if I can go to these here. Ha. Okay, so here's the LibGuide, which Jen Del Cheno made, yay, and me. And so here we go. Here's the list of the Massachusetts participants with the roots there. And here's a specialized version of the delivery index that just gives the places that are involved in this and what route they're on. If you're in Rhode Island and you're wondering what you put on the delivery slip, you use this particular slip, an S slip, and you just put Abington on the municipality/institution line, or a W slip and just put Amherst College. Don't confuse the delivery guys. Less is more. Don't put in Robert Frost Library. The less they have to read, the better, frankly. So use what's in this column here on the slip and use this kind of a slip. And then let's see here. Getting back to the PowerPoint. Here we go. On the Rhode Island side, here's a list of the participants, And, oh, here we go. Here's the slip index. So for example, if you've borrowed something or you're lending something to the Davisville Free Library, you would put DPL on the Rhode Island slip. Um, there's one little complication just that has confused people a little bit. There's a number of different branch libraries within Providence that all use the same delivery designator. So WAN is correct for Fox Point and also for other libraries within Providence. Don't be freaked out. All righty, let's see here. So if you're the lending library, you want to check and see if the requesting library is a participant in the pilot, and if so, you want to send it to them via delivery. Please, please, please use a properly filled out return address delivery slip for yourself in there just to make their life easier. And it's those same delivery directories that I just showed you that you would use in order to figure out what slip to use to send it. We ask you to please keep track of the traffic between participants during the pilot, and I've got a survey monkey that I've had up that just asks you what month data are you reporting, who are you, where are you, how many did you lend via this project, and how many did you borrow via this project. You could count as you go along, or you can use some OCLC reports. There's an OCLC reciprocity report. It's available per symbol and it identifies states, so you could look for Massachusetts libraries and then look for the ones that are the 36 or so that are involved. Or there's an ILLiad report called Who Do I Borrow From and Who Do I Lend To? Basically, we want to know if you've been happy with it. We hope to take the statistics and kind of figure out about how much money was saved. And we also would like to hear from you what other states would be interesting, whether or not you would like to see this expanded further, who particularly would be interesting to you. Are there other libraries in Massachusetts that have chosen not to participate right yet that you really wish would participate, so I could do a little arm twisting and see who I could add? I don't think we'll add anybody between now and December. It's too confusing to just keep adding people piecemeal bit by bit. But as I say, I'm really hoping that we continue on after the pilot, and we'd be up for adding more people later on. So we're really hoping that we can make this work, and thank you very much for your participation. Chai Chen has been doing some turnaround studies, and I don't know that we know exactly how fast it's been to get things from point A to point B. I personally wouldn't think it's going to be exceptionally fast. They have to go via that 3 days a week pivot. And I think that if you're in a region that isn't S, it might be even slower. But we personally have noticed that the mail is not exceptionally fast these days either. So I don't think it's going to be terrible, and it certainly is going to be cheaper. Chai Chen, I'll put you on the spot a little bit right now. Do you have any sense of how the turnaround has been going?
We did a first round of turnaround study in the spring,
Mm-hmm.
that's May, and on average, I would say 2 to 6 days is the norm. You
Okay.
know, I'm surprised 2 days for some library across the border. It only take 2 days. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have quite a few 2 days. For I think yeah, two to 6 days
I
is
suppose
the
it would
norm.
really depend on when the shipping out from the lender fell in terms of that Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing.
Yeah.
If you happen to ship it out on a Tuesday, it
Hmm.
probably would get to Norton on that very Wednesday and be picked up on that very Wednesday. So I
That's
think
true.
that probably makes some of the difference.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um, and then not
Which is
all,
not bad. It's
no,
not.
it's really not
Yeah.
too bad. That's good
Hmm.
to hear. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Not all of our libraries are 5-day-a-week delivery libraries, and I'm not so sure about the ones on your side of the world. Most of them are that are participating in this.
Yeah, most academic have five. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
and the
So,
larger public libraries.
yeah. So I think it's more or less just a question of how soon it really gets out of your library from the ILL office to the pickup point, and then how that falls in terms of the pivot and how things are going in delivery in general. I mean, we all know that there's occasional problems with delivery, so God knows these things
Yeah.
can get caught in the occasional problems in delivery. But it's free. All right. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that Chai Chen and I are doing an event at the New England Library Association annual conference. The conference is from October 16th to 18th at the Doubletree Hotel by Hilton in Danvers, Mass. And we're doing a little table talk called Library Delivery in the Northeast. What's up? What's new? And it's Sunday from 2:30 to 3:30. Um, we're hoping to kind of gather up some people from states around New England, maybe New York as well, and just see what people know that's going on. So if any of you are able to attend that, you would be most welcome. You've been a very quiet group. I have not seen one little peep from the chat, so either I've explained incredibly well or you're really confused, one or the other. But hopefully I've explained incredibly well. And if not, just shoot either Chai Chen or myself an email and we'll try and straighten you out. Anything else to say, Chai Chen?
No, this is good. You
Okay.
have been extremely clear.
Well, I try. All right. Thank you one and all, and we'll see how this goes along. So October 1st for the expansion of the expansion. Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye now.
Thank you, everyone.